Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino lists all the worlds he wants to see in Kingdom Hearts 4. It's been what feels like forever since our first glimpse at Kingdom Hearts 4 a year and 2/3 ago, which mostly just showed the singular city of Quadratum, but there was also a little cutscene with Donald and Goofy getting jump scared in the darkness by a talking blue flame that turned into an orange flame that I'm pretty sure has to be Hades, so there's still going to be Disney worlds galore to explore, with either Olympus or the Underworld, or some combination, most likely being one of them. Outside of that, and even inside of that, honestly, everything's up in the air. I'm not familiar with any modern copyright issues like what happened with Deep Jungle back in the day, and I have no insider knowledge despite my storied catalog of iconic Kingdom Hearts YouTube content. So I'm just giving my world wish list out here regardless of any extenuating circumstances after thinking about it for like 10 minutes. Let's get started. Beginning in a more broad sense, I don't think any Disney movie that came out after Encanto really needs to be here as a world. I don't think people would be excited for that. If we're talking about reception, there was a big collective groan from a lot of people when the Frozen world in KH3 became known, but Frozen was at least still a cultural phenomenon that had an inarguable impact on society. The people who liked it were obsessed with it, and its inclusion, however poorly executed, was like, yeah, of course they're gonna do that. It's Frozen. In the last couple years, though, no other Disney movies have reached Frozen levels of impact, or any impact at all, really, but have absolutely surpassed it in eye rolls. It's just been varying degrees of meh for a while, from Turning Red to Lightyear to the canonically disastrous Wish. Turning Red has no shot of making it. There is no fucking way the Gummy Ship is gonna touch down in the world of Canada so Sora can help a 13-year-old with her period. The giant red panda becoming a Heartless would be kinda sick, but nah, not worth the subject matter. Lightyear would be pointless when there's still so much Toy Story lore to draw from. They barely used any in KH3, so there's plenty of scenarios they could still cook up, and it would just be confusing to interact with the dude who isn't the toy. Wish was a joke from the moment the first trailer dropped, and it's just another Kingdom-type area, so I don't think it would add anything of value. As for what I do want in Kingdom Hearts 4, though, let's start with the repeats, because we already know there's going to be some. Even as a certified Frozen hater, I think KH3's version of Arendelle was such a nothing burger that KH4 should have us go back there and try to actually do it right. Give us access to the actual kingdom instead of the bland, snowy mountain. They knew that shit sucked too, which is why they had Larxene create a whole ice labyrinth area to try and salvage it, which did not work. I want to wander the halls, reminiscent of Beast Castle, while also having the surrounding area accessible. Kingdom Hearts 3 undoubtedly cared more about scope than content. I'd like KH4 to have both. Another world I'd like to revisit that might raise your eyebrows is Atlantica, not in KH2 minigame capacity, but as a full underwater area again, with enemies and everything. Think about the tremendous improvements KH3 made to both underwater traversal and combat, primarily in the Pirates of the Caribbean world. Swimming around like a motorboat, closing the distance on enemies in a flash. Now imagine if we could have done Atlantica in the original Kingdom Hearts like that. That smooth, that quick. Wouldn't have needed a damn dolphin, that's for sure. A repeat world I think most people will be on board with is Hollow Bastion, aka Radiant Garden, after its notable absence from KH3. I know people are itching to get the Final Fantasy characters back involved with the proceedings, so being able to go back to their base of operations will pretty much force them to be on a screen bigger than Sora's phone. For the record, I'm 100% ready for them to introduce some protagonists from later FF games. Getting Lightning, Noctis, or even Clive out here doing some work would be hype. Clive in particular, imagine if they replaced the Hercules Titans with Final Fantasy XVI Dominance as boss fights. Holy shit. Another repeat world I'd love to go back to is the Pride Lands from Kingdom Hearts 2. Lion form Sora is just too fun to mess around with, and I can only imagine how much the lion-based combat will have improved in the time since, not to mention the graphical overhaul. It would actually be kind of funny if they went to the live-action Lion King world and you played as an IRL lion cub with spiky hair. It would be awful, please don't actually do this, but it would be funny. I think the mainline KH games that are built for better hardware, as in not developed on handhelds where the technology is limiting, are a good opportunity to sort of redo worlds that have so far only existed in the spin-off games. Worlds that never felt fully realized because they're just in a smaller game in general with less resources attached to it. I think it's criminal that Lilo and Stitch's world only exists in Birth by Sleep and only is wandering around a UFO. There's no Hawaii, no sandy beach or village or surrounding coast to explore. For an IP that beloved, Lilo and Stitch is one of the best Disney movies ever. It's got sequels, it's got a TV series, and it deserves a fully realized world if you ask me. Another world I'd love to see revitalized is sort of a patchwork connection of all the locales from Pinocchio. This lion-ass wooden dildo has been in almost every KH game, and while we've gotten Monstro in the first Kingdom Hearts as a mainline thing, Prankster's Paradise was relegated to Dream Drop Distance, and that place in particular is something I think could look fantastic in Kingdom Hearts 4. They could do a plotline where Pinocchio has to revisit important places from the movie and prove his virtue to finally become a real boy, interact with the fox who led him astray, confront that one dude who enslaved him and made him do the unspeakable act of musical theater. It could be a nice closing chapter to things for a side character who's otherwise just kind of around for no reason. And it would give Jiminy some plot relevance again. But let's get into some new worlds, shall we? That's where the real imaginary juices start flowing. One issue with Disney movies being adapted into interesting Kingdom Hearts worlds is that they heavily favor two settings, kingdoms and coastlines. Kingdoms is self-explanatory, there's a million Disney princesses, and as such, they live in a million kingdoms. Biome differences help, like there's a big difference between Rapunzel's kingdom and Jasmine's kingdom, namely sand. Plus you've got an underwater kingdom, a snow and ice kingdom, etc. to try to keep things fresh. But all those have now been done in Kingdom Hearts already, and there's a lack of newer Kingdom movies to draw from. Wish is basically the same set dressing as Tangled, but there is one other recent movie with kingdoms in it that's vastly different, and could provide a pretty substantial quest for Sora and company. The setup for this movie already sounds like an open-world video game, so they could just make it one in Kingdom Hearts 4, almost like what they did with Pirates of the Caribbean in 3. That movie is Raya and the Last Dragon. In my opinion, I think this is the easiest slam dunk for a new Kingdom Hearts world that's possible to come up with. Like I said, the whole premise of the movie is an open-world adventure where you travel the land from kingdom to kingdom, tracking down gem pieces held by other civilizations, fighting warring factions while listening to Aquafina make terrible jokes. Pirates in KH3 was basically a game within a game, and this could be too, with a similar scope. I know it can be annoying watching Sora go to a world lately and just spectate the plot of the movie over again, but this one is so involved and action-packed that I would let it slide. Of course, they could also tell a different story if they want bonus points, as long as it involves the same amount of trekking and fighting and adventuring. I think if they don't do Raya and the Last Dragon, they're throwing, conceptually. It's absolutely perfect for Kingdom Hearts. Now let me do a full 180 on you with a wacko take that I still wholeheartedly believe in. We need cars. Sora's a car, Donald's a car, Goofy's a car. We go to the Cars world as cars, and we compete in a Grand Prix as a racing minigame side world. No plot to go through, no Heartless to defeat, just a nice diversion from the proceedings that's fun for the sake of fun. Obviously Lightning McQueen and all them are there, and we interact with them as competitors for the grand prize, kind of like the old Olympus Coliseum bouts, actually. Hell, if you wanted, you could have Heartless cars enter in the races up to some nefarious business, and we have to keep winning to continue our investigation. It would be so ridiculous, but in a good way. Sora's already transformed into a mermaid, a lion, and a dorky trick-or-treater. A car isn't too far removed from that. He's got to keep the spiky hair, though. It'll be so cursed, it'll be a meme instantly. Donald Car might go harder, though. Just have the people who did Disney Speedstorm program the driving, because they did a great job and it would feel terrific. But yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon and Cars are really the only new things I'm actively campaigning for. There's plenty of other options that would be fine and good if they got in. I fully expect Moana to replace Pirates of the Caribbean. I expect to see either Coco or Encanto in some capacity, and it would be cool to do something with The Incredibles or go to Wreck-It Ralph's world since he was a summon in KH3, especially because Sora interacting with other video game characters could plant the seed that I've been hoping Square Enix would harvest for years, which is that it's time for Sora to go to video game worlds too. The Final Fantasy characters are already there. It's an easy pivot. I want to see this man fighting Heartless with Ratchet and Clank. I want to see him annoy the hell out of Kratos. I want him to fight Bowser with Mario outside of a Super Smash Bros. Game. I feel like there's an alternate universe where this is the case, and I would love to be teleported there. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Comment what worlds you want to see in KH4. Watch all my other videos while smiling and saying ka-chow to yourself, and I'll see you guys next time.